Hi everyone, this is Krishna Mulagupati, working as assistant professor in Triple Department, St. Peter's Engineering College. So here in this video, I am going to explain single phase fully controlled rectifier with RLE load. So this is there in a power electronics subject. I am handling power electronics subject. Okay, let us see single phase fully controlled rectifier with RLE load. RLE load. The best example is DC drive. So when you connect one DC motor at the output side of the uh, rectifier, we can able to find that we can able to see the operation of DC motor. So just we have to discuss the what is the configuration, what is the rectifier configuration here. Just we'll take one rectifier, control rectifier, single phase. Single phase means how many thyristors required for a bridge formation. There we require 4 thyristors. Okay, labeling as T1, T2, T4 and T3. Like that I have given the labeling for the thyristors which are there in the bridge, and I am connecting one AC source to this bridge like this. So we can able to use the isolation transformer also here. I am not showing that isolation transformer, and this is my source, single phase, 220 volt, 50 hertz AC supply. Please remember this is single phase, and I am connecting on load here. This is my load. As I said, this is equivalent of DC motor. I can say this is a back EMF LR, and current flowing through load is I naught, and voltage builds up across the load is V naught. Very clear, diagram gives very clear. This consists of 4 thyristors formed like a bridge and having one load RLE, and supply for this bridge is single phase supply. This is my circuit. We will see the how does this circuit work. Right? We'll take waveforms. Right? Draw the waveforms. We'll see the working of this rectifier bridge. So look at this. There are fundamentally we have to take 5 waveforms. Are you able to see this? Right? So first one we are taking input voltage like this, 2 cycles. I am taking 2 cycles. Okay. So when you do the more practice, then only you can able to draw the waveforms neatly. This is my input. So there is one more voltage is there at the output side, right? This is plus, this is minus. I can say this is battery, something we are connecting one battery along with R load, RL load. Then that will become RL load. Otherwise, simply you consider one DC motor. Altogether, you consider one DC motor. So both are same. So for that, what happened is this is my DC available at the output side continuously, even though the input is not feeding the circuit. This is available forever, right? I am taking here side only, but it is at the output side. Then, so this is my theta. I am taking the side theta 1, and this is theta 2, right? This is pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, and this is 4 pi, right? Then draw the line downwards from the theta indication. and after this is my alpha. Alpha means what? Firing angle. Alpha means what? Firing angle. Okay, then again here it is, I'm drawing the lines from each and every notation like this. Very simple to draw this waveforms when you do the exercise on our it. This is my theta again, theta, and this is my alpha, right? Then coming to this is under theta, but I'm not taking any line from the theta to, right? This is alpha again. Alpha for what? To trigger the T3 and T4. Then we'll see this one also. This is last one. This is theta, right? Like this, you have to draw the vertical lines, vertical dotted lines to go for the explanation of this whole circuit. So next we'll see very important one is output voltage. How we are getting? How we are getting output voltage? It's very important. Omega T, right? So this is my output voltage. So here is there are two conditions. If Vs is less than E, then output will be E. Got my point? If input supply is less than E, there is an output in terms of E only. If suppose Vs is greater than E, then output is Vs. This is the fundamental thing to be remembered, right? So first you see one by one what happened here. Okay, see this, whenever the positive voltage is applied, as we know, input having two half cycles, positive half cycle, negative half cycle. So I am labeling this one is, this is A, this is B, right? Supply terminals. Even if you are applying positive half cycle, this will become plus, this will become minus, right? Then this delivers the current like this, and current is entering in this one. Then this is going to be short circuited, this is going to be open circuited. As it is reverse bias condition, and the current is coming like this and entering into the node, this will become open circuited and current is flowing through like this. When if the input voltage is greater than the battery voltage. If input voltage is not greater than the battery voltage, what will be the output voltage? Very simple. Whatever the battery maintaining, that will be the output voltage. This value, right? But what happens in between theta and alpha? T1 and T2 are not recurred. Thereby, T1, T2 won't conduct to create the path for the current. Again, during this period also, the output is continuously maintaining the E value. It's very clear. Now coming to the, when you see this one, this is the upper one as compared to this one. Means what? This condition comes into action. Second condition. Thereby what happens? You are getting output. When you get the output as same as the input, when there is a triggering of this T1 and T2 and conduction takes place by the T1 and T2 and allows the current to flow like this. For positive cycle, the path is A, T1, then RLE load, then back to T2, it's going to be short circuited, it's already open circuited, then T2 back to B to A. This is the path created. Thereby what happens? Current flows to the load, then output will be like this till the positive half cycle applying across the configuration. Then after what happened? There is an inductor. Inductor stores the energy whenever the supply is available for that. Then if the supply is over, then automatically it is becoming source for the circuit. Then immediately this inductor plays vital role to serve the entire circuit by changing its polarity. So initially the polarity is across the inductor when it is storing the energy plus upper one is plus, lower one is minus. Then as we know, it doesn't allow the sudden change in current. Current will be in the same direction, but the polarities across this one are going to be changing because the whenever the element, passive element becomes the active element, immediately we can say the polarities must be changed and allow the current in the same direction, but the polarities are going to be changed. Thereby, voltage across the load as same as the voltage across the inductor. Thereby, we are getting negative value. Means what? It is minus, it is plus. Thereby, you apply this one here, you apply this one here, thereby you are getting negative value. So, till next one. So, during this period, T1, T2 conducting. Am I clear? T1, T2 conducting. After that, what happened? After that, what happened? Then T3, T4 must be conducted. T3, T4 must be conducted. Actually, we have to take the mirror image of that one, right? I am taking here mirror image of above one like this. Then only you can easily understand this diagram, right? Right. Look at this. This is the waveform. This is the one which we are applying across the T3 and T4. Thereby, what happens whenever this value, input value, higher than the output voltage, immediately it's going to be conducting. Means what? After that, it's giving you output voltage like this. Okay? Am I clear? During that period, look at this. So this is phi, this is y, this is up to next alpha, we are getting like that. Then again, we are getting this way. Till, sorry, this is theta. Wait a minute. Up to theta, this one we are getting it. Then after, we are getting this one. There also, we are getting same way. Sorry, we have to mention here also the one more, that is alpha. We'll take alpha here also. So from this, we are getting like this. If I am not wrong. Am I clear now? Yes, it is. Then you take one more here. One more here. Then after this, you are getting output like this. Then like this. This is the output we are getting across the load when we have the load as R and E. Am I clear? So seems to be very different as compared to previous load connections. Right? What about the output current? What about the output current? Let us take output current. Right? This is output current. Right? During what happened? During these values, not at all conducting this T1 and T2. So this period, what happened this period? This period T1, T3, T4 conducting. T3, T4 conducting. Right? Then draw this one. During the conduction of T1 and T2, we are getting output. Then what happened? So it's giving the 0 value. Then after we are getting the output like this. Then it is maintaining like this. Okay. So this is the current waveform at the output side. Right. Then we'll see the voltage drop across thyristor T1 and T2. Voltage drop across thyristor T1 and T2. Okay. Thyristor T1 and T2. Whenever thyristor T1 and T2 conducts, then there is no drop. There is no drop across the T1 and T2. And whenever they are not conducting means there is no drop. There is drop across thyristors. Means open circuit concept, closed circuit, short circuit concept. Let us see that. During this period, entire period, T1, T2 conducting, right? During this entire period, T1, T2 conducting, hence the voltage drop across the T1, T2 are seems to be 0. Right? I am drawing here with another color, say up to this point. Then afterwards what happened? From this you are getting output like this. What about this? So there is no conduction up to this point. We are getting like this. Like this. It's very easy to draw. So from this point again up to this alpha to pi plus alpha. There is no conduction. Then after that there is a negative voltage and we have curve like this. Are you able to see this? Yes. So this is the way that we can see output. So what will be this? What will be this? E plus Vs. So how do we write the expressions for this output? So we are taking the output expressions. Anything to discuss here? Very simple. Then we can draw two equivalent circuit for this connections also. Okay, we'll see the expressions. Right. What are the expressions that we are taking into consideration? Output average voltage, output average current, RMS value of output voltage, RMS current of output waveform, average RMS values, and inputs of power supply, input supply power factor. These are the few things that we have to consider for the explanation of this type of diagrams. So average output voltage, average output voltage. Generally, what is the equation? V average equal to 1 by T integral 0 to T Vs d omega t. Right? In this equation, we are going to substitute. So its period is 1 by 1 upon pi. Every pi timings the same thing is repeating. So then from 0 to pi, from 0 to pi it's conducting, right? 0 to pi and having the E plus Vm sin omega t d omega t. After solving this, we are getting one equation, right? This is constant one, right? We are getting 2Vm by pi cos alpha, 2Vm by pi. Like this, we are getting average value, right? So from this, what we write? Then we'll see average current values, average current at output side, at output, average at output, that is I naught equal to 2Vm by pi R, right? So next we'll see V naught RMS. So that is RMS value of output voltage. RMS value of output voltage, that is V naught RMS, that equal to 1 upon pi integral 0 to pi E plus Vm sin omega t, Vm sin omega t. This is Vm square. You can write this one square d omega t and root. So after simplifying all these things, you are getting one more equation. Then RMS value of output current. Output current, very simple. When you know this value, just do like this. I naught RMS is equal to V naught RMS upon R, simple. Then now do you get the input supply power factor? So input supply power factor, as you know, it is a cosine angle between voltage and current. So this is input power is equal to the output power plus total losses, as we know. This can be used in Meshon's efficiency analysis. As we know, in case of power electronics, there will be switching losses and negligible losses takes place. Then we can say input power is equal to output power. I am just neglecting the switching losses here. Then, as we know, VRMS, IRMS, cos phi, as because this is AC, this is DC, right? Then V naught RMS, I am saying this is not pure DC, it's a pulsating DC, hence we have to take RMS values. So from this what we write? Cos phi is equal to V naught RMS, I naught RMS upon VRMS, IRMS. So with this we can able to calculate this cos phi, input supply power factor, right? And this is somewhat difficult to understand as compared to previous load connections. As we know, R is very simple to draw. R load, when we have the R load, is output side. It's very easy to draw. But as compared to as go on next step by step, that's somewhat difficult to understand the waveforms how we are getting. And one more thing that we have to take here is input supply current waveform. Input supply current waveform. Look at this. Whenever the thyristor is conducting, then only the current will flow through the what we call through the source also. And if here it is, we have RLE load, then suppose I want to click this point, negative voltage. Just remind me, what should I do? What is the disadvantage of this circuit? What is the disadvantage? We are getting negative voltage, means first quadrant operation we are getting, second quadrant operation we are getting. Right? Then what happened? Average output voltage is going to be reduced because of negative values. So what we have to do? We have to clip off these values. How do we clip? And very simple. So whenever the inductor serves as a supply for the circuit, that current must be freewheels across the load itself only. So for that, what we have to do is we have to connect one freewheeling diode. Whenever this inductor trying to solve the circuit, the current will flow through the freewheeling diode, right? This is going to be short circuited, then voltage across short circuit will be 0. Then entirely we have only back EMF. Okay, this value, this value. That's why we are getting during this period. During this period, no. No, it's not back EMF. Whatever the voltage maintained by the short circuit, that will be available across the output. V naught equal to 0 volt. Look at this. When this portion is clips off, when we are connecting freewheeling wire, automatically we can say the voltage here is 0. The voltage here is 0. The voltage here is also 0. Like that. Means 0 voltage is available across the load terminals, even though E is there. Then automatically it comes back whenever the input is more and more. Automatically it's going to be open circuit. Current is entering like this from the source side, and the operation repeats. Okay, this is all about the single phase fully controlled rectifier with RLE load. So this topic is very important. In many books it is not presented as I seen, but in some books, in some basic books, we can able to see the whole explanation. So that's it about this single phase fully controlled rectifier. We'll see the in the next video that the effect of source inductance and load inductance on the performance of the power electronic configuration, particularly in case of rectifiers. What is the effect of source inductance and what is the effect of load inductance? How we design the source inductance values? How we design the load inductance values to get the good performance of the rectifier circuit. Thank you.